HitThatLine.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that will respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
For one Razorback. And vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Good morning, good morning. Happy Monday and happy April 29th. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, my partner, and the C Unit, Christian Johnston, producing today. Got you for the next 3 hours on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com. Matt Jones, good morning. Did you have a big weekend?
Oh, my goodness. How fun was sport this weekend? I know the baseball team got it going on, NBA playoffs going on, soccer. You got Champions League Tuesday, Wednesday. It's a great time for sport, Phil.
Finished out your draft on Saturday. Had a couple of Razorbacks go in the draft, a few others signing free agent contracts. And yesterday for me, we had another doubleheader on Saturday, as I guess we all anticipated with the rain in the forecast for Sunday. And yesterday was just kind of a day I didn't pay attention to much going on in the world of sports yesterday. Got around the kids, enjoyed some of that. And so I know there were some great NBA playoff games yesterday. I put the Knicks and the Sixers on for about 10 minutes while I was getting some stuff together. But it was the first quarter, so it wasn't necessarily like, the most interesting part of the game. So I don't really know what happened as far as the NBA was concerned yesterday. What happened? Tell me.
Well, your boy out there, Minnesota, they're the real deal. I haven't really seen Minnesota play much this year, and I know Karl Anthony Towns is a G, but Anthony Edwards, he's got it going on.
That's the kid from Georgia, right? He was the first overall pick out of Georgia.
Yeah. He's you're going to get Denver, Phil. You're getting Denver, Minnesota in the second round, and I'm telling you that series could go 7. That's going to be a fun series. The Clipper Dallas series is 2-2. I told you when that one started, that one's probably going to go 7. It's back and forth. You got star power, you got injuries, you got people playing well. I think Oklahoma City gets their sweep. Brunson was the best player on the floor with Joel Embiid with one leg. I see the Knicks going through. Cleveland, Orlando, it doesn't matter. Either one of those teams that wins, they're getting beat in the next round. It's just like Milwaukee, Indianapolis. It doesn't matter. They're going to lose in the next round. So you check those series out if you want to. Jason Tatum's the real deal, man. Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards. I mean, you talk about some young American talent that could be league MVPs. Fun to watch.
Either of these guys on the Olympic
Both of
team?
them, Tatum and Anthony are.
They are?
Yeah. It'd be a shame if I thought Jalen Brunson should be on it over Halliburton. He's the point guard for Indianapolis is who they put on it. But I'd have taken Dame Lillard or Brunson. But that's who Grant Hill wanted.
Well, Grant Hill gets who Grant Hill wants, I guess, right? We had a great, really entertaining baseball series with the Gators Friday and then Saturday. Tight games. Hogs take 2 out of 3. I was impressed with the way they played overall, and we saw this could be the play of the year, Matt. It's a kind of play that I don't think anybody anticipated. A kind of play that I'd never seen before. Bubba had never seen this before, which is saying something considering how much baseball he's played and how much he's watched it as well. This was Saturday, game 1. Florida's got the bases loaded, the Razorbacks leading the game by 1 run, and Peyton Holt, I don't know where he broke this out of or how he ever thought about it.
Fouch continues to get ready in the pen as the pitch to Shelton is hit high in the air. It's deep enough for the run. Peyton Holt in center field makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Donay's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague-Lott fires to the plate. They got him. Florida just ran themselves out of an inning, and the Hogs still hold the lead. What was Brody Donay doing? Peyton Holt deked him. He deked him in center field, and he never runs after the catch, and then he runs when he throws to third base. Has Brody Donay ever run the bases in his life? It didn't look like it. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, one of the craziest plays I've ever seen happen, and it's one of the pieces of just a wild last 3 innings of a 6-5 win. I've never seen a runner get faked out like that before, Matt. It was number 1 on SportsCenter's top 10 on Sunday morning.
You remember the girl? I want to say it was softball, but she's running towards home plate and she points to first base, and the lady turns her head. That's the closest thing I could.
It's the same idea.
Yeah.
That's right. A lot of you think of a fake. I mean, fake is a part of football all the time. A deke is, a head fake in basketball. I mean, how many times do you get one of those? In baseball, it's tough to fake anybody out, especially a runner on a ball that's hit to the outfield. If there is a fielder that does the deke and fools a runner, it's an infielder. Like you'll see a shortstop usually fake like he's fielding a ground ball to fool a runner from first base into thinking there's a force play at second, so he slides. Meanwhile, it's a base hit to right center field, and the guy's completely fooled. Or you see a third baseman act on a play at third on a throw from the outfield like the ball is not coming. He's just kind of standing there, not like ready to catch it or anything, and then all of a sudden, the ball's there, and he snaps the glove and catches it and swipes the tag down. You see that a lot. We've seen that with plenty of Arkansas fielders this year. I've never seen an outfielder actually pull the deke. I don't know if you saw the play, Matt, so just to describe it, the runner at third is Brody Donay, and he is a hoss of a catcher, like 6'5", 240 pounds. He had some base running issues throughout the weekend, and this was one of them. Holt, who had started the game in left field, had moved to center that inning because of a change in the lineup at that point. They move him into center field. He's a good center fielder. So, you can't deke as an outfielder if you're on the run. So he's got a chance to camp underneath this fly ball. It's not only deep enough to score the runner from third base, but it's probably deep enough to get the guy from second to third. So I guess it was a second, maybe a second and a half before the ball looked like it was going to land in his glove. He fake catches it. You can see him move his arm down. The glove is up. He moves the arm down to make it look like he caught the ball. And I noticed it at that moment, because I can see when a ball is about to land in someone's glove. But that's when Donay took a step off third base and was totally fooled. And there's more into the play, too. I mean, at that point, he makes this perfect one-hop throw to third base. Donay's on the way to the plate by then, and everybody was fooled at that moment. Peyton Stovall said he was fooled. Jared Sprague-Lott, he didn't know where to throw the ball. They're shouting at him to throw to home plate. Nobody has seen a play like this before. And it was, I don't know.
Was it like the North Texas guy when he did the punt thing against
a little bit like that? Yes. But that also goes to the idea of just having some IQ. Just to have the wherewithal to think, you know what, this might work at this moment, a split second before the play happens, and then to pull it off in a way that made it look like he'd practiced it before. Nobody's practiced that play before. I've never seen anything like this before. It just, I don't know. It showed a lot about Peyton Holt as a player, and Bubba reminded me this morning as we were recording Bases Loaded that when Holt was playing second base last year, I think it was in a game against LSU in Hoover at the SEC tournament, he got a very, not awkward, but a very weird-looking double play by faking a throw to first base and then throwing to third behind a runner that just wasn't anticipating a throw over there, and they got a double play because of it. There's something about Holt. And, oh, by the way, an inning before, he'd hit a go-ahead home run in the seventh inning to cap off a 4-run comeback seventh inning. So, I don't know. There's something about, there's all, look, athletes are athletes. you do great things as an athlete, but there's also, and a lot of that has to do with your physical capabilities. But then there's just some players who just, Matt, you know these guys that just have a flair for the dramatic, for the big play at the big moment. Even a play like this, where it just felt like he pulled something out of his rear end and made a play up on the fly. You know, I mean, for those who were saying Peyton Holt needs to be in the lineup and he wasn't in the lineup, you've been right from the start. It was just a matter of finding the spot for him. And I don't think anybody anticipated how good of an outfielder he actually is. And that to me was a play that a ball player makes. Just that's the ultimate compliment you give to a baseball player, that guy's a ball player. It's one of the most amazing plays I've ever seen, Matt. And hey, if you make the top play on SportsCenter on a weekend where there was a full slate of Major League Baseball games, you had, as you've already talked about, big NBA playoff games, NHL playoff games, and all the other games across college baseball and college softball. That was number one. I wonder if anybody that was doing SportsCenter at that moment had ever thought they'd see a play like that.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards had about 5 of them that could have been number one. There's a changing of the guard. It's like you see it coming, but the Kevin Durant, the LeBron James, the Steph Curry, you got to tell them thank you. Thank you for being great ambassadors. Y'all are Hall of Famers. You're OGs. It's a changing of the guard.
Halftime today includes Connor O'Gara, hour number 3. We'll get into the NFL draft with Connor, and I don't know if there were more Big Ten players or more SEC players selected in the draft. After Friday, after Thursday, I was focused 100% in on the baseball series this last weekend. So we'll dig into that with Connor. Mike Irwin in hour number 2. Kick around what's going on with the basketball transfer portal and Arkansas basketball recruiting, both in terms of men's and women's, because as Cal is rebuilding the men's team, Mike Neighbors is also trying to rebuild the women's team. And there's nobody with us in hour number 1, so you can get on the horn and call us. We'll open the McClarty Daniel hotline right now for you at 877-377-6963. We'll get into more halftime after this.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com.
Renewed focus. Drives it deep to right field. That one's near the pole. It's out of here. There's business to tend to.
We were all excited to play baseball.
And the Hogs always live up to their end of the bargain. Tiger, here's the pitch. Brewer swings and misses. He struck him out. Tiptoes back a little farther and at the wall leaps. He robbed him of a home run.
This is Razorback Baseball.
Follow every game on Arkansas's journey towards Omaha.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Get 2.9% financing for 72 months on a GMC Sierra Crew Cab at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Choose from 2.7 or 5.3 liter Sierra Crew Cabs this month and get 2.9% for 72. Or get up to $6,500 in factory rebates on select 2024 GMC Sierra trucks. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You're on the forklift in your warehouse when it breaks down. You call Medley Equipment Company. Talk to Debbie.
Hello.
Debbie tells you they'll get you moving again. Debbie talks to a service tech.
Yep, I can do it.
Tech says when they can be there. That nice Debbie lady calls you back.
Hello.
Saying your forklift will be fixed in a few hours.
Nice.
Pretty fast, right? We're just trying to keep up because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Bo Tommy. Visit medley.com or come see us at 2150 Ford Avenue, Springdale, Arkansas.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. You need the Lindbergh team, home of Arkansas's only instant offer program. Get a cash offer on your home in only 72 hours. Lindbergh Real Estate Group is the #1 team in Arkansas with over $1 billion sold and voted best of the best 10 years in a row, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and now the River Valley. Find out more at lindberghteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Randy Milam in Alma or Agent Brandon Zimmerman in Barlin.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Yes, I do. Things are changing so fast. No. Yes, I do.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Here's the pitch. He struck him out swinging, and this one belongs to the Razorbacks. Fouch screaming at the top of his lungs as the Hogs empty out of the dugout with another series win and another one-run victory. 6-5 final score. This one belongs to the Razorbacks. What a game. My goodness. These last 3 innings were drunk.
Yeah, they were drunk. I don't know what they were drinking, but it was something really, really strong. Florida took a 4-1 lead at the top of the 7th inning, only to see the Razorbacks come back with 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning, a game-tying home run by Vaheva Aloy. Holt had the go-ahead home run just 2 batters later. Then you had the crazy play that I played for you in the last segment with Holt's deke. And then Florida, in the 9th inning with 2 outs, got the go-ahead runs on base before Christian Fouch strikes out. The same batter who was tagged out on the plate getting deked out. You want to talk about a bad day? That was a bad, 20 minutes for Brody Donay. A really bad 20 minutes for Donay. He's thrown out of the plate when he should have scored the tying run, and then he strikes out to end the game, leaving the go-ahead runs on base. They'll tell you, hey, you get to play tomorrow. Well, he could have played later on that afternoon because that was the first of the doubleheader. They didn't have him in the lineup for game 2 of that game either.
Who do y'all get? Y'all got SMS on Tuesday?
Got Missouri State. Yeah, Missouri State Tuesday night and Wednesday night. They're Missouri State. And I still think of them occasionally as Southwest Missouri State. When's the last year that the Bears were actually SMS instead of MS?
You know, they had a receiver drafted in this draft. Arkansas have any skill position players drafted in this draft? Man,
no, it was just you could say so. All right, it just depends on what do you say is a skill position. But
somebody
Cam Little as a
ball.
kicker, he wouldn't say that's a skill position. That's a specialty position.
Somebody, a cornerback, a running back, a receiver, quarterback, even a safety is kind of a skill position. You know, people that can get their hands on the ball.
You surprised McLaughlin didn't get drafted?
Well, you got to pass the physical. He struggled with turf toe. That's to me that has to be something. We're not in those rooms, but they'll do their due diligence there. If he's 100% healthy, he can play on Sundays, but he might have something else going on that kind of made teams shy away.
That's too bad for him. And what was it? Latham goes in the 6th round too. Yeah,
you know,
as far as anybody else to get drafted, I just didn't expect. I thought maybe it would just be you get one lineman, Cam Little, maybe McLaughlin, and that was it. So I know it keeps some sort of a lengthy streak of players being drafted out of Arkansas, but it does feel, look, I mean, they're drafted, so they're drafted. But it didn't come until the 6th round, and like you're saying, no skill players.
Nowhere to go but up.
Oh, hopefully that changes. Can imagine that's got to change sometime in the near future, right? You kind of do equate sometimes level of success with players drafted off your team and where they go in the draft. When you play in the SEC, that would have a little bit of something to do with it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's tough. It was a tough product to watch. Hopefully they're working and getting some time in and getting a little better and put a better product out on the field, man. Those last couple games at home last year, what was that, Missouri and Ole Miss? I mean, or Auburn was it? Came in and just whooped you, man. We gotta get to work.
It was Limmer went in the 6th round of the Rams, and then you had Cam Little drafted by your boys, by the Jags.
Hey, Cam, I'm telling you, from 2 years ago, whenever we started this thing, I mean, you can tell that dude's the real deal. He's got a bright future ahead of him.
Does the ball fly any differently in Florida than it will anywhere else because of the thickness of the air? Am I overthinking it here? Probably so.
You know, Scobie, you got to see Scobie firsthand. I got to be around Scobie for 4 years there, and you can see what an NFL kicker is. And I think Scobie was drafted too. And then you watch Cam Little, and you're like, he's every bit as good as Josh Scobie was. And he played in the league for 10 plus years.
So McLaughlin signed with the Vikings as a free agent. John Morgan signed with the Patriots. Antonio Greer with the Bucs. Al Walcott with the Bills. And let's see, you got Brady Latham signing with the Jets. Trajan Jeffcoat said free agent plans have not been made public as of Sunday evening. So I don't know if that means he's been signed or not. But I would imagine you'd at least let folks know there about it. When you're a free agent, when you're an undrafted free agent, I mean, let's talk Jason Peters here for a moment. Undrafted free agent. Who's made his way to being a frontline Hall of Famer and maybe the greatest Razorback in pro football history, which I think is saying something. You're starting behind everybody else. I mean, you really are. I mean, how can you make an impact? What can you do as a free agent when you didn't get drafted and you're trying to get the attention of your coaches? I mean, they've obviously seen something in you to put your name to paper, but you don't have the signing bonus. You don't have, well, we used a draft pick on this player, so he's going to get this, extra chances because you want your draft picks to work out for you. It's just look, I mean, you're playing pro football, but at the same time, it's tough to get on the field.
Phil, everybody at that level is really good. Everybody can do one or two things well. So the great ones can do 3 or 4 things well. And so when you're an undrafted free agent, you got to figure out what you can do well, work on the other things too. But then you gotta You got to try to play special teams. You got to be a gym rat. Coach Danny Nutt used to say that. You got to be there when the lights are off. You got to be there all the time and putting work in, because there's really the truth of it is 53-man roster, 7 of the players are making all the money, and that's kind of how it is. 10% of the guys are just unbelievable, and then everybody else is right there fighting for the same bread. So it's congratulations to all those guys and everybody. It's a tough league, man. Everybody up there can play.
How often does somebody that is signed as an undrafted free agent end up on the practice squad, on the scout squad, essentially? And I mean, there are ways to maneuver your way onto the 53-man roster. It's like, I guess you don't want to necessarily hope for injuries, but you just understand those are going to happen in that sport. But if you don't make the 53-man, you don't necessarily have to get cut and look for a job somewhere else. I mean, scout team is not a bad way to make a living, isn't it?
See, I don't know how much of those rules they've changed, Phil. I think if you don't make the 53-man, everybody has to go through waivers. So if you get cut off of a 53-man, so to speak, and used to you could be on a practice squad 2 years. You couldn't be on the practice squad 8 years. I don't know if that's changed, but they gave you 2 years. But you still got to clear waivers. So if you're on a squad and they don't want you on the team, but they do want you, they want to keep you on the practice squad, somebody else can pluck you when you go through waivers. And if they don't, then a lot of times you see them just settle on with their team.
Are they nameless, faceless? Do guys around the practice squad or the scout team, are they treated like they're the same as everybody else on the team?
There's so my 4 years in Jacksonville, the 53-man, there's only 7 jobs open. There's not a lot of jobs open out there. It's a myth or a misconception that you think that there's so many jobs open. What is there? That's 32 teams, and there was about average 7 jobs. What's that? 200 jobs out there. That's so I don't know the draft picks and your free agents or so you're a little over 200 jobs each year that's kind of cycling through. So it's tough. And then it's always younger, cheaper. So if each year you get paid more. But no, everybody's out there working, man. It's a beautiful thing. They you kind of know who you are, you fit in, and get out there and get to work.
I just think about the other couple of sports that we talk about that have a draft and just how that filters down. You only have a two-round draft in the NBA, and there's a minor league system for the NBA, but it's a whole different situation than I think anything else. So you draft somebody in the first round, you expect them to be on your team, maybe make an impact. Second round, maybe give them a couple years, but that's it. It's just 2 rounds. Major League Baseball, even though they've shortened the draft to 20 rounds, these guys are getting drafted and they'll have jobs, right? I mean, they will have jobs, single A, double A, triple A, rookie leagues and everything. You have the minor league system and the weight of all of the years of that, so that these guys are getting drafted. And even those who aren't drafted, there are still jobs for them to get in the low minor leagues when they're working their way up. In football, there is no minor league system that any of the teams are connected to, at least not yet. So I just wonder how many free agents, when they make it through mini camp and then you go through the August camp and you get cut a week or 2 into it, how many of them end up playing in the UFL and being good with it too? Like I'd run into a guy when I was in Arlington. When I was in Arlington with the baseball team, I rode down the elevator with a guy who was playing in the UFL. I don't think the season had started by then, but that's where everything was headquartered, DFW. And he was playing for the Memphis team, and I wasn't in the elevator long enough to ask where he played college, but he's obviously a pretty talented athlete to even be playing any form of pro football. So, it's just how long are you actually the property of the team you sign with? Like, that's what I'm getting at. When in baseball, you sign with a team, you're going to be with them for 6 years, pretty much. As a free agent, same idea. In the NFL, how often are the guys that sign their name to paper aren't even there with that same team in about 5 months when the cuts start?
It's true. It's the not-for-long league. You take a guy like a Sam Hartman. I think he's signed a free agent guy, but like if I was his agent and talk, just like, man, let's go. You can make 7 figures a year leading the CFL team. It's like if you want to play quarterback and you want to be the number 1 guy, And I know it's the dream, to play in the NFL, but man, it's the dream to play and to be an athlete and to do what you do. It's to sit there and hold a clipboard. It's not very fun.
Greg's on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hi, Greg. How are you?
Hey guys, great baseball weekend. There was 2 plays that made ESPN because there was the deep, but how about the barehanded throwdown at home?
Yes, that was a great play too. I remember that play, and I remember calling it, and it sounded like this.
First time the Gators have really threatened since the first inning. The set and the 0-1. High chop, Sprague-Lott coming from third. Barehand throws home, tag. What a play by Jared Sprague-Lott for the out at home plate. They're going to be showing that play on Top 10. Oh my goodness, a high chop, Sprague-Lott charging from third base. Did not use the glove. Bare hands, throws to White, getting Shelton. Big league play all the way around.
Yeah, that was about, 18 hours before Holt's play, so that's why it got forgotten. Unfortunately for Jared, because that was almost as good of a play, if not the equal. I think Greg left us, so that they showed us some. I mean, they really did flash the leather over the weekend. That was amazing to see. But I also feel like Sprague-Lott's play at third base does show, I think, a reason why Holt hadn't been in the lineup until recently, like the last 8-9 games, because he's really a great third baseman. I mean, Sprague-Lott is a great third baseman. And, man, these allergies are getting to my throat. I've tried to get all this stuff up, but it's all still there. And who knows? I think Peyton can play center field really, really well. So, I mean, that's got to be in the back of Dave Van Horn's mind as he's piecing the lineup together. And you have a center fielder in Wilmsmeyer that is not hitting. He did find his way on base a couple of times other ways. And then Kendall Diggs, whose slump got deeper this past weekend, going 0 for 10. So I'm sure that's got to be in the back of Dave's mind. These next 2 games against Missouri State might give us a little bit of a window into seeing who's going to start this weekend against Kentucky. All right, quick break on halftime. Our McClarty Daniel hotline remains open, 877-377-6963. We'll be right back.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Hey there, business ballers and entrepreneurs. Ready to make your financial dreams come true? Well, get ready to score big with Swish.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for
hang you up from the heavens. Only if I should kiss you. I don't know how. Drag you to the devil.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, anything on your mind right now, call us up. Let us know what it is that's on your head, involving sports at least. McClarty Daniel hotline is 877-377-6963. My mind's fully on baseball, and I've been ignoring the other things. I mean, I watched the NFL draft round 1, can't watch the second round of the draft. It's in the middle of a baseball game. Can't watch the third or any other rounds of the draft. It's in the middle of a doubleheader. Don't really follow the NBA too much. Got all the transfer portal stuff going on in basketball and football, and honestly, it's a little bit too much to be able to keep track of all the time. So what's on your mind these days, Matt? Tell me.
Oh, let's see. You got a big one tomorrow in the Champions League, that's for sure. It's the last four. You get Bayern and Madrid, and then Wednesday you get Dortmund and PSG. PSG's got the best player in the world right now in Kylian Mbappe. He's a superstar that, there's no other player to compare him to. You got to compare him to a fictional character, and so he's Donatello off of the Ninja Turtle. He's so good.
Is that because Donatello's the most athletic of the Ninja Turtles, or is it that he's kind of face that looks like that?
Yeah, similarities. They're boundless. They go to the ends with them two. They
so
can
Donatello is the 5-star of the Turtles. He's the Galactico.
They're all Galacticos.
They're all Galacticos.
That's why. But no, you got a couple good series in the NBA. You really do have a changing of the guard. Some young talent that's shining. Minnesota. How excited are you if you're Minnesota right now? Oklahoma City, another team with young stars. New York Knicks. young stars. The Bucks are hurt. They had 3 guys. Portis got ejected the first quarter.
No kidding.
Yeah. It was Dame Lillard and Giannis didn't play, didn't even dress.
How do you get thrown out in the first quarter of a playoff game knowing that all those guys that are sitting? Or is it just maybe in his head, hey, we don't got much of a chance, I'm out of here? That doesn't sound like Bobby P.
Yeah, no, it went into overtime, too. Milwaukee, they were scrapping. Patrick Beverly doing his thing. Chris Middleton, who I think has a little fool's goal in him, but he did his thing, had 42. That's going to be a good series.
Ryan in Hot Springs is here on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Hi, Ryan. What's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. We were talking about the Peyton Holt thing, but, I think it was the Alabama series. We lost that. I think it was in the second game. I didn't think he got enough credit for that throw where he got another. He didn't deke him, but he got the fly out, and then he threw it all the way from left field and got the tag and got a double off his arm. Of course, I'm talking about Peyton Holt. And at that point, he wasn't in the lineup yet, and I'm just like, how in the world is this man not in the lineup yet? He's got a solid bat, and he's got a cannon of an arm from left field. How is he not, playing? And as much as I like Wilmsmeyer, but I kind of didn't understand why he wasn't, hitting in his spot, like DHing or something. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but my point is, I just didn't understand how he wasn't in the lineup or playing as much as he has, especially as much as we saw him play last year. I was kind of hoping maybe there was something there maybe we didn't know about or I hadn't seen or heard. But I'm sure I'm glad to see him back in the lineup, though. And I'll leave it at that, and hope you'll have a great day and go Hogs and get your opinion on that.
I think, Ryan, he wasn't in the lineup because they just weren't sure if he could play the outfield at the level you need to play in the SEC. And, you still had guys in the corner outfield that you're thinking, well, the bats are going to come around, and so we're going to give them that chance. But I think what you've seen now as far as left field is concerned with Ross Lovich, with Will Edmondson, there isn't any consistency to give them that job and say, well, this is yours. Or in the case of lefty versus righty and you do a platoon, you haven't seen any level of consistency to feel like those are the two guys who will stick in left field, even in a platoon situation. Holt has shown he can play the outfield now. I mean, he's made some great plays in left field. And obviously in center field, it's not just this deke, but he made a great running catch the week before in right center. He has a good first step. He has instincts out there. He's got good closing speed. He takes the right route to the ball. It's more than just the throwing arm and all of that. But as far as infield was concerned, I still think that they were right in not putting Holt at third base instead of Sprague Lott. Just that Jared I think he is a better third baseman. But Holt's going to be a starting outfielder for the remainder of the season. Will it be left field? Will it be center field? Will it be right field? Right now, he's the only outfielder that's producing offensively. So, you got to have somebody out there producing. Have to have somebody out there producing. Here's Eduardo. Hey, Eduardo, how you doing?
Man, I'm still, the electricity still running through my body. They ought to call that play the Peyton Holt double clutch. I mean, I watched a lot of baseball, sir, in my time, but I've never seen that before. I mean, to perfection. I mean, from center field, the double clutch, catch the ball, and the throw to third base for the double play at home plate. What a play! And as I'm watching, across the country, it's the number one play this week in America. It's gone viral. Tremendous play. And what I talk about, Hog Delight, now you know what I talk about. It's no more than performance on the field by our student athletes. And what a play for the young man from Greenwood, Arkansas. That gets me pumped up.
Eddie, let me jump in for you here. Eddie, I want to jump in with you, and I've got to ask you a question. I've wondered about this. Holt is the only position player on the team who gets an appreciable amount of playing time who is from the state of Arkansas. You get kids on the pitcher's mound who are from Arkansas that are getting a lot of play, like Gage Wood, like Will McIntyre, Cooper Dossett, Dylan Carter. Holt's the only one from the state of Arkansas as a hitter that's getting a lot of play. Being from Greenwood. Now, I think anybody can appreciate the way that he plays, But, I mean, he's reached folk hero status already at Arkansas in these 2 years. And, Eddie, part of that's got to be that he's an Arkansan and didn't want to play anywhere else.
Grow up with it, you know. I mean, over the years, some of our, better plays on the field come from athletes within state, no more than your co-host sitting next to you. And what a performer he was on the field. And so, I'm just excited for the rest of the season. As I said the other day, here we go down the stretch, 16-5 overall, tied for the overall lead. And here we go. And that train when we go to Lexington this weekend. Robert?
Eddie, yeah, you're back, Eddie. Sorry about that.
I couldn't be more excited because we may be looking at an overall SEC championship, and I'm going to put my money on the Hog train because of pitching. And when you got pitching, as I said the other day, you can go far. And we're fixing to see our point. The last series of the year is against the Aggies. I can't wait for that. And we're going to see hitting versus pitching who wins. And so, woo! I'm getting pumped because either way, we're going to be one of the top national seeds in the country. And so, how about that? Maybe a top 3 national seeding. And how important is that to have home field advantage? To host a regional and a super region.
Eddie, for this team, I think it's incredibly important. I think they can go on the road and win if they have to. But if that happens now, that means they've had a really rough next 3 weeks. That means it's a rough 3 weeks, and you don't want to go into the postseason with a rough 3 weeks. Right now they're in a position where they are going to be playing at home. This next weekend against Kentucky, I feel like you can kind of cinch that if you win this series on the road. And Kentucky's lost back-to-back series, Tennessee at home, then South Carolina on the road. You already have a series win at South Carolina where Kentucky just lost 2 out of 3. So then this next weekend will go a long way to telling you whether or not they're going to be at home. I think they're going to be at home. And there's something to hit on there which is just so important for anything in baseball. If you've got a pitching staff that is good at limiting home runs, keeping the ball in the ballpark, they don't walk a lot of batters, and you have fielders that don't make a lot of mistakes or a lot of errors in the field, that's a really great trio. And they have that right now. There were some mistakes in the field this last weekend, but it didn't cost them a game. And they obviously made great plays to kind of limit what a couple of the mistakes that happened, how that affected it. They don't allow home runs. Florida, they've been held without a home run in 4 games this year. 2 of them were this last weekend. That tells you a lot about what this pitching staff specializes at. And they don't walk a lot of guys either. So there is it's not a team that's blessed with a ton of power. It's not a team that is blessed with right now, all the clutch hitting in the world, but they have what it takes to score more runs than their opponent. And a lot of that has to do with the fielders making the plays that they've made and the pitchers keeping the ball in the ballpark. And there's no team in the country that's any better than that. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Remember Crabtree RV Center. When you're making your plans for adventures this summer for you and your family, you want an RV to get it done, Crabtree RV is going to help you find the right RV for all the experiences that you detail for them. The service and parts department is on site, and everything that you need in between at Crabtree RV. Making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years and 4 generations. CrabtreeRV.com for more info. Wrapping up hour number 1 in just a moment.
This is halftime.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 7. $1,279.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Z Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Happy birthday, dear Megan. Happy birthday to you.
Why did they have this party outside?
Wants cake.
The mosquitoes are terrible. Let's get out of here. I'm getting eaten alive.
Mosquitoes sucking the life out of your party? Call Mosquito Joe for an effective, affordable solution for keeping your backyard bite and itch-free. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com for a free quote or call 479-202-9960.
Mom, everyone's leaving. Just bite.
MosquitoJoe.com. Outside is fun again.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine. On North 11th Street is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle. Also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle. 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith. 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma, no win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Attention homeowners, storms are firing up quickly and widespread damage means thousands are reaching out for the right roofing company. Don't wait. Get on the schedule with Shamrock Roofing and Construction now for quality and peace of mind. One call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100. Need new roof? Shamrock Roofing and Construction can have you covered right now for as low as $139.99 with approved credit. For quality and peace of mind, one call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I had a sugar-coated childhood. The stars were in my suit. Given the opportunity, it's not over and change it all. Beatlemania made my mother think the way she does. She always said, don't waste your life wishing everything was how it was.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Headed to the McClarty Daniel hotline as we wrap up hour number one. Reverend Dave is here on hold. Hi, Reverend Dave. Thanks for calling. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great today. The sun is shining for a change.
That's
I wanted
good.
to mention you guys, there's a couple local things happening. Springdale Boys 6A West Soccer. They're going up against Northside this Tuesday with a win or a tie. They'll clinch the conference. That's going to be a fun game. And then we also got 6A state track meet coming up. And there's this kid, his name's Cooper Williams, out of Fayetteville. I'm talking about an absolute stud. He's like a like a mini Matt Jones, I like to say. He's not quite at that level, but, man, the kid can run. He does the decathlon. He'll win it this year for sure. Got second last year. But he's cleared 7 feet on the high jump. So just a few things to look out for during the week.
Where do they hold the 6A track championships?
They're going to hold them in Southside this year.
Where was that? I didn't hear it. Southside?
Southside.
Okay, Southside. Very good. Very good. The decathlon, that's, what is it? That's 10, right?
We had a Tom Crowder, number 38. He was a sub 4.4 guy, like electronic 4.3 guy. He was a decathlete on the track team, and he played on the football team. Coach gave him a scholarship his last year. Absolute stud. Recovered man, we kicked the ball off. Eli Manning comes into town. We're playing Ole Miss Rebels, and this is back before they were the Grizzlies or the Land Sharks, and we kick the ball off, and it lands in the end zone, and Tom Crowder's so fast he beats even their team down there and jumps on it and gets a touchdown. Like, yeah, you're talking about because we just scored a touchdown, 14-point swing, and then we're kicking off again.
Do you know if he'd played in high school?
He was from Camden.
Okay.
He was there a couple years before me, so I was around him for like 2 years. But just a great teammate, great player. But he did the decathlete he was a decathlete for the Arkansas track team, man. Just anything. You talk about Peyton Stovall or Peyton Holt, whatever, just as far as can do anything. Tom Crowder was kind of like that. He could kind of just do a little bit. If it involved a decathlon or anything that was being an athlete, he was pretty good at it.
I think Holt's the same way as the idea of just anything involving being a ball player, being a baseball player. I think he'd probably do any of it. I think now the only thing I wonder if he could do is pitch. Just doesn't seem to have the body type to pitch, but he's got a good throwing arm, and he was like the emergency catcher last year. I could see him doing a little catching too. Decathlon, 100 meters, long jump, shot put, high jump, 400 meters, day one. That's quite a day. Day 2, 110-meter hurdles, discus, pole vault, javelin, 1,500 meters. Is there a point where either of the day that lets you just stand off to the side and throw up? You might need it. 877-377-6963 is our McClarty Daniel hotline. We have Mike Irwin coming up in about 20 minutes, and we'll be back with much more in just a moment.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They're open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts need, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be dry across the north, possibly seeing an isolated shower or thunderstorm early across the south. Otherwise, everybody clears out for this afternoon. Highs today into the upper 70s. Tonight, mainly clear. An overnight low will drop down low 50s north, upper 50s south, and sunshine returning on Tuesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios, broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Jones, take it to the house. The dump.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moth at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back in hour number 2, halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson with Matt Jones and the C Unit, Christian Johnston. We'll have Mike Irwin in about 15 minutes to kick around everything going on in Razorback land. For right now, got an open segment and a couple of callers on hold, so let's get to the phone calls. And first up is Charlie. Charlie, always good to hear from you. You have the floor. What's up?
What's up, guys? Phil, Matt, see you. How's it going?
It's great, man. Just a great Monday. Got a big week coming up, and maybe there'll be more additions for Cal's first recruiting class. Maybe get a few players in for Mike Neighbors. Hopefully get some baseball wins, too. How about you?
Well, everything's good. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at Cal's, as he's slowly building this team, and when I saw he signed a kid named Boogie, I'm like, there's no doubt in my mind that kid can hoop. If you got a name like Boogie, you got to be able to hoop, right? I mean, the kid's name is Boogie, so I was happy. I
would imagine he can change directions really quickly with a name like that, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So before, I think they've gotten their, has it kind of been said that they've gotten their freshmen, now they're going to try to go more portal, because you want the mixture, or I haven't really heard. Where do you think they go with that? And as far as the baseball team goes, I was proud that we got 2 out of 3. I thought the third game, it is what it is. We came up short. We got some hits on the board, at least in that third game. I think Bubba even mentioned that towards the end, and I think that, obviously right now for me, it feels like we're Kendall Diggs away almost from this team, just from him getting back to the way Kendall Diggs, we know Kendall Diggs can play. And then it's like, once we get there, it feels like we're going to be in a really good spot. And I hate to pinpoint it on one player, Phil, and maybe I'm wrong by that, but it just feels like we're 1 or 2 players away from it getting, more consistent as far as our hitting. Because, look, Stovall, Holt, Aloy, the way he can, his power, I mean, it's crazy, and you can't take Peyton Holt off the field. What a play he made. Did that make SportsCenter top 10? What
Holt?
a play he made.
Holt, that was number
After
one.
finished
Yeah,
it.
Charlie, that was number one on Sports Center. Absolutely. Look, the thing about Diggs is that was a guy going into the season that you took it for granted. We all did. We all took it for granted because he had such a big year producing runs last year, and maybe the thought of the walk-off homer against Ole Miss the year before, it's like, well, they're going to get what you got out of Diggs last year, and that hasn't happened. Part of it might be the shoulder injury and maybe the lingering aspects of it from the last week since they really started having the chance to treat it. You just need somebody in the outfield to produce. And I think Holt can be a really dynamic hitter. I don't think he's some big power hitter, to be honest. I'd be surprised if he were to hit, double-digit home runs, but he's producing when he does get the opportunity. And man, with Diggs, you got to get something from him right now. You need something from him because he's a much more productive hitter than he has shown throughout the year. And that game against Florida, the 9-5 loss, is just kind of the wrong situation for Jack Caglione to come up. If you're Arkansas, bases loaded. Frank even made a pretty good pitch, and he still hit a grand slam off of it. That guy, Jack Caglione is kind of the kind of year that I didn't know if you could really have, where he's hit 12 more home runs than he has strikeouts. It just doesn't happen. Everything he hit was hard. Including, we saw the hardest ball we saw hit all year. It was a 115-mile-an-hour ground ball to Sprague Lott when he was over at the right side of the infield. He really is. I think he's as good as advertised. And the fact that Arkansas kept him without a home run in 2 games, that's saying something. Jerome in Boonville, you're next on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hi, Jerome. How are you?
Good. How are y'all?
Great. Thank you.
So y'all in the spring game, what's y'all's opinion on the Hogs coming up this year?
Well, I'm hoping to see an improvement upon last year. I didn't watch the spring game in the middle of baseball season, but I don't know if you're really going to be able to dictate an opinion of what is going to happen this next football season based on the spring game. Looks like they got your quarterback. Looks like you got your number one running back in Jaquindon Jackson. I think what we're looking at here, though, is they know that they're still a little thin in linebacker and defensive line. This is why they've gone after more of those positions in the portal. I wonder where else it is that you're looking. But you ever base your opinion on what's going to happen next season on the spring game?
I think Satania is going to be better. I like Armstrong coming back. I think we're deep at tight end. Yeah, I think our offense is going to be a strength this year. I don't see our offensive line being a liability again. I think they're going to be better. And then hopefully by year 2, year 2 for Travis Williams, hopefully that's a little tick up and get everything on all cylinders. What do you think, Phil? There's no reason this team can't win 7 games next year.
I would agree. I would absolutely agree. Put themselves in the same situation that last year's team was in all those close games. Maybe there's a couple more plays that are made instead of the other way around.
Exactly. You win one you're not supposed to, you get to 8. And if take care of your home games, Coach Pittman always wins the SEC game on the road. I mean, we destroyed Florida's season last year. They were going to get to 6 and get to a bowl game, and they kind of messed it up on themselves, though, with that penalty at the end. But, you got to tip your hat. We didn't have our OC that game, Kenny Guyton getting carried off the field. I mean, that was a big win for the Hogs. So you think they'll be able to go somewhere next year. I haven't really looked at the schedule, but we'll win one of those games on the road and take care of your home business.
What'd you think, Jerome? Did you watch?
Yes, sir. I think we're going to have an explosive offense with your new offensive coordinator. I think my question is, do you think we have a bad season this year? Is it the year we get rid of Pittman?
Well, I mean, it's trying to make a decision for an athletics director
if we
in this
win,
case, but I think if you win, if you don't make it, I don't think if you don't make a bowl game this year, then I think all things are on the table. That's just kind of the direction things seem to be going in from last year.
Coach.
All right, appreciate it, Jerome. Thank you very much. We can take more calls, more texts as we go throughout this show today on the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-3776. 69-63.
If you don't win an SEC game, then yeah, everybody, you got to change something up. If it's that bad, if you go 1-7 or 0-8 in the SEC, then something's going to have to change.
Yeah, but I think right now, if you're looking at it, with the season not even started yet, it's a little difficult to figure. There's still additions to be made. There are still additions to be made through the transfer portal. I just wonder, when you're making additions in the portal at this point of the year, are you getting guys who will make a difference for you, or is it a matter of just a little added depth? Because it is a point where you're getting players that were probably told, you're not going to win a position here. You might have to go somewhere else. That's Snacks Johnson just goes back to Baylor because he wasn't going to be the starting nickelback here at Arkansas. So he's going somewhere where he's
going back to Baylor?
He's going back to Baylor.
Well, good for him.
I don't know if the situation he's going to start there or not.
Hey, if you don't want to be here, then I wish you well. You want guys that want to be in that locker room. You want guys that want to compete, and you had a chance to compete. But yeah, go. What are you going to do at Baylor? Was Baylor any good in football?
I don't think they were all that good last year.
I guess I can't really say much. It's not like we were good this year, but I don't know that Baylor's that good either.
Jamie asking about Will McIntyre's struggles. Yeah, last 5 outings, he's gotten knocked around a little bit. Batters are hitting close to 500 against him in that stretch. I think it's 7 innings, 10 runs in the last 5 games he's pitched. So what you see is I think he's not quite getting that cutter over for a strike, and may need to go for maybe a little bit of a different plan as to how to get a guy out, because they're game planning for the cutter, which has been his best pitch, and that's a pitch that can be special sometimes. But I think he's got to pitch off maybe another pitch to keep him off the cutter a little bit. And in the aspect of, well, you got to finish 9 innings for a game, and quite often McIntyre was out there throwing 2, 3, 4 innings. You need other pitchers to emerge, or you need your starters to go a little longer. And we're seeing that now, that Hagen Smith went 7 innings on Friday. Brady Tigert went into the 7th inning. I think in certain situations you'd have let Tigert maybe try to work out of that situation. Cooper Dossett is emerging. Christian Fouch has emerged. I think there's another pitcher I'm trying to think of here that you can. Jake Faraday threw 2 innings scoreless the second game Saturday. I mean, these are all pitchers that when McIntyre was really dealing, they weren't getting an opportunity to pitch very much. And when they did, I think in Faraday's case, he would show reasons why you wouldn't throw him. But now he's showing reasons why you do want to throw him. Faraday struck out Caglione. That's saying something. That ended a streak of 56 plate appearances without a strikeout for Caglione. He hit something like 10 home runs in that stretch. That's ridiculous. So Faraday's got the kind of stuff that he can go out, he can give you an inning, he can give you 2 innings. So there are struggles for McIntyre. I think they'll need him, maybe not quite at the level that they've needed him up until the last couple of weeks. Quick break on halftime, joined by Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation in just a moment.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com. You need free legal advice? Listen to Coffee with Counsel with Kevin Hickey and Brad Hull on the Hit That Line podcast network.
What do you think is the percentage of legitimate contracts I see come through on disputes between contractors and homeowners?
I would hope that it's higher than 50% at least.
Like it may say, construct a porch. Well, does that mean put the roof on the porch? Does that mean put the rails on the porch? Does that mean, what is included?
For more information, go to hickeyandhull.com.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on remaining 2023 Buick Envisions. Or choose up to $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision, it's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. Sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
This ain't my house, this ain't your heart. How I'm feeling this morning.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Joining us now on the McClarty Daniel Hotline is Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation. Always appreciate your time on these Mondays, Mike. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Doing good, thank you. Did you watch a lot of college baseball over the weekend? I know that's kind of what you got your head in these days.
Yeah, I did. Went home
Saturday night and caught the tail end of the A&M Georgia game. And Georgia was up by a run, but A&M in the bottom of the eighth had runners on first and second with nobody out. And I thought, well, I know how this game's going. And then they brought this reliever in, and he struck out 6 straight guys, 8th inning, 9th inning, and that really helped Arkansas. It kept them a game back of Arkansas in the West.
Hey, Mike, as this team goes forward and has some success, what's a number, like when we were talking Kentucky basketball last year in the tournaments, they're like, hey, they got to get to 80 to win. What's a number with this pitching staff you think this team has to get to be able to win and have a chance to win it all this year? Like 5 runs a game, 4 runs a game in Omaha?
Well, it was interesting because there's been this focus on hitting and how it's not good enough, blah, 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 blah. And certainly there's an issue at times. Other times they hit the ball pretty well. But can't remember his name, but the analyst for the SEC network, I think, pointed out that if you get to Omaha, pitching becomes much more important because you're not going to have all these teams that are hitting home runs, Tennessee, Kentucky, or whatever. That ballpark is cavernous and the wind generally blows in, so pitching becomes much more important. So I don't know if there's a number, but the pitching ERA has gone up, which I think is understandable because they've gone up against better hitting teams lately. But it's up just a tick over 3, and Tennessee's number 2, and they're almost at 4. That's the gap between Arkansas and everybody else in the SEC in pitching. The one guy I think they're still, they got to be worried about is McIntyre because he had an ERA of just a little over 1 there for a while in the SEC, and then it's just ballooned up lately. So I don't know what's up with him, but that's a concern. But honestly, I think what happened to them in Game 3 had everything to do with Mesa Molina not being there. I mean, I think their relievers, I looked, and they went something like 30 innings with their relief pitchers. Or 30 innings, 13, I think. So that's a lot of pitching for your when you don't have your starter going 5 innings, 6 innings on day 3, that kind of eats into your bullpen. So I'm not too concerned about what happened in Game 3. I sort of felt like they had problems in that game.
I just I think sometimes we might view eventually Arkansas is going to lose a game. If they lose 2 games in a postseason weekend, well then it's over,
right.
And eventually you get outscored once. It's just really difficult. Look, this team has lost 2 games in a week once this year. That's it. Beating them twice is the really difficult thing to do. And I don't view this the way that I do. Like, remember when Iowa and Michigan played in the Big Ten championship this year, and you're like, well, Iowa's great defense. There's no way that they can keep that Michigan offense down to their level offensively. Baseball's not like that. It's actually so often it's the good pitching that beats the good hitting. You can't. You don't look at it, well, the offense is broken, so you just can't win ball games. No, they still find a way. Look, they're really good at winning 1-run ball games, so they just find a way to score 1 more run than the opponent, and it doesn't matter who you are, who the opponent is. You score 1 more than them, you've beaten them, and that's what they're doing. All these tight games in the SEC, Mike, I think that eventually pays dividends in the postseason because they're just used to pressure.
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky's lost 2 or 3 at home to Tennessee. They were at home and lost that series. Now, Tennessee's good. Tennessee's making a move to be number 1 in the country. I was a little thinking they might do it because they've won 6 straight. South Carolina, Kentucky's still got to go to South Carolina in Columbia. So what happens there, And then, of course, Arkansas, that's a big series. So, have they, they've lost a series at South Carolina. They lost a series at home to Tennessee. Now, are they still down when Arkansas gets to Lexington? Who knows? Yeah. But people get so hung up on this, and I just keep saying this.
history suggests that winning the league or winning a conference tournament has jack to do with making it to Omaha and having a chance to win the College World Series. This selection committee decides everything on selection day because they don't do it strictly on seeding. You know they don't. Theoretically, the one seed, whoever has the one seed at the highest rated regional, the one seed, you should get the worst 2 seed, the worst 3 seed, the worst 4 seed. They don't do it that way. I mean, theoretically, last year TCU should have been go to some regional down, 14th regional, 15th, 16th, something like that. Why did that happen that way? I don't know. I just know that they just sort of randomly pick this NCAA field and who you end up with and then who you face in the super regional. And if it happens to be a team that looks ordinary but then gets hot, you're dead. You're not going. And then there are years when you think you're not going and you do go. I just think the selection of that field determines everything when you're talking Omaha.
I want to ask about roster construction for basketball. Charlie had brought this up in the last segment. So you got your 3 signed high schoolers that are now coming to play for Cal. You got 1 transfer in Ivisic. I know they're working on Adu, the center from Oklahoma State as well, along with Adu from Tennessee. Do you think you focus more on veterans now? Like the idea of you want to have like a mix of a talented roster of incoming freshmen, players that you might use the term established in college basketball or returners, and then 2, 3, maybe 4 transfers that have been around and are more veteran-like. So, I mean, where do you think is the next piece to fall as far as the roster is concerned?
Well, again, they had the Tennessee center in. I think he's gone now, going to North Carolina and visit there. They want both of those guys. Those are veteran inside players to go with your one inside guy that you've got that's got a year behind him. I think they still will go for veteran forwards, veteran guards. Nobody seems to know because Cal in the past has really been heavy toward bringing in freshmen and relying on those freshmen. We saw what happened when Muss did that 2 years ago. But you got all these Kentucky fans saying, yeah, that's what he's going to do. He's going to bring in a bunch of freshmen, and he's not going to play enough of them. They're going to get mad, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. We're in new territory with him here. We don't know what he's going to do, but I have a feeling that he's done with the freshmen, the high school seniors. And I think we're going to see him now bring in some veteran players at most of these positions, and starting with the 2 big guys.
What do you think about on the women's side for Mike? I mean, last week was a tough week with Samara Spencer going into the portal, and then Miriam Dowda, which that one kind of hit really hard. All 5 starters, outside of Carly Keats, who started pretty much the last month, are either in the portal or have chosen a new school to play for, and it is a real rebuild. And I read Dudley's piece with Mike, and Mike is talking about this is all part of the plan and it's all late stage execution, but all we've seen right now are the players that are leaving, so he's just kind of waiting to hear about the players that are on the way in.
Well, he's gotten 2. He brought in a 6'4", I don't know, I guess she's a center, forward, whatever. And then he's got the transfer from Arkansas State, I think she's going to be a really good player. I've watched her video. I watched what she did against Arkansas. That girl is short, but she can move and she can play and she can score. So I think he's got maybe some things that will help him. But, I think you can criticize him for a lot of things. I personally feel like he's too soft as a coach. I think his players play soft defense. I think he didn't handle that situation with, the 2 guards, or the 2, Talia Scott, and then, Samara Spencer. I don't think he handled that very well. I know he thought he had it taken care of early, and then it just blew up on him, and I think that had a lot to do with why they left. But the fact of the matter is that these situations like with Dowda, and he has no NIL money. I've been told none. And it's starting to kick in right now. Players across the country on the men and women's side are suddenly starting to realize, hey, everybody's doing it. I can do it and make some money. If I got a year or two left and I got a chance before I go out into the real world to put some money away to start me off in the real world, and I think parents are getting involved. I think parents are telling their kids, hey, do this. Put yourself out there, get some money, and you'll thank me later. So this torpedoes any loyalty issues. Dowda may have she may have been fine here, but you put money up in front of there, and hey, I can go off and make some money here. Why won't I do that? So I wouldn't want to be in his position. But he's in the same situation Pittman is in. They didn't want to pay his buyout, so they're giving him another year. So if he's gone after that, the buyout goes way down. The difference is that Pittman's got a lot of NIL money to play with, and we've seen how he's constructed his roster for better success next year through the portal. You take that away from Mike Neighbors, what is he supposed to do? I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
Hey, Mike, we had a couple guys get drafted in the NFL draft. Did you check that out over the weekend? Any surprises?
Well, not really surprises. Maybe you can answer this because I sure don't know. Steve Little, a first-round pick years ago. Cam Little and Steve Little are pretty similar in terms of ability. I mean, Cam Little, the top kicker in the history of Arkansas in terms of successful field goals, 82.8% on his 64 attempts, 67 or whatever. And he's a sixth-round guy. I don't know. That's just the way it is these days. And then Bo Limmer, he goes in the sixth round. He's supposed to be a fifth-round pick. Everybody else, McLaughlin, Morgan III, Antonio Greer, these guys are free agents. What does this say about Arkansas football? To me, it says recruiting has been down, and it's got to get better. They should do better than that in the draft. I mean, you look at some of the other SEC schools, and you look at that, and it's not very impressive. I'm not saying that it translates directly to next year and how much success you're going to have. But if you want to have a successful football program, you have to put more players in the NFL than that. And we don't even know if these two, I think Cam Little is thick. I don't know about Limmer, but we'll see.
Well, hopefully you get a few more of them. And I don't know, there's just seems to be there's got to be a correlation between SEC wins and guys that go in the draft the next year. There has to be that correlation.
Absolutely there is. Absolutely. You have you go through 2 years ago wasn't good. You're barely above 500, and then you go through last year. That's going to really put a dent in your recruiting.
Mike, we'll leave it there. I appreciate you coming on as always. Thank you very much.
See you guys.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike Irwin with us each Monday from Pig Trail Nation. Hey, Courtney Hollingsworth Auto Body, family owned and operated for over 40 years, is your collision repair specialist in Northwest Arkansas. They've achieved ICAR Gold Class status, the highest training level recognized in the industry. Only 15% of collision repair shops achieve this status. So put your vehicle repairs in the hands of experts. Call Courtney Hollingsworth Auto Body at 479-751-3801. Again, that's 751-3801. Also online at CourtneyHollingsworth.com.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust.
You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel
Court on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
So a very interesting video yesterday on Twitter of a Georgia pitcher, Christian Maracna. This was in the series. I think this happened Saturday. Yeah, they played a doubleheader with A&M the same day Arkansas played a doubleheader with Florida. And there was somebody that was videoing the Georgia bullpen. It was an A&M fan. I think it was Barstool, Texas A&M. And they zero in on Maracna, and he and a catcher are in the bullpen. Maracna goes over to the corner of the bullpen and squats. And it looks like he's doing something there between his legs. And I had no idea what it was. I just thought maybe he put a cup down there and was taking a leak, because there aren't always bathrooms by the bullpens. I don't know if there is one at Bluebell Park or not. So he wouldn't have been the first one to do that. But then they showed another video. He did something with his glove between his legs apparently and put something back over there, and was hiding whatever this was that he had put back in the corner. Like hide a cup of urine, right? Something like that. Who knows what it was. But then they showed another video of Maracna on the mound after he'd thrown a pitch, and he pressed on the glove of his, he pressed on the thumb of his glove in a way that you don't see a pitcher do. There's no reason to do that unless you might be applying something to your hand. And there's the thought now, there's this video circling around that there might be some cheating going on with the Georgia pitching staff, and that this video of Christian Maracna is some kind of proof of this. Now, you can only guess what it was that he was doing in the corner, because it wasn't near the camera. He had his back to the camera. You couldn't tell what it was he was doing. I literally did think that they were videoing a guy taking a leak in the bullpen, and I thought, can we maybe find something else to do other than zero in on somebody doing that? But then when you see him press on the thumb of his glove in a way that he had no reason to do, unless he might be applying something to his hand, there might be something to this. Who's the head coach at Georgia? Former Arkansas pitching coach Wes Johnson. Now, I have no idea whether or not Wes is a guy that adheres to, you got to have the sticky stuff or some kind of substance or whatnot. But there's maybe, who knows if there's any kind of investigation that goes into this. But folks apparently want an investigation. I wonder what it was he was putting on the glove, because he did put something there, and it would be one way that you could do something you're not supposed to do. They banned the sticky stuff in the major leagues. I don't know if it's banned in the minor leagues, but or in college ball. But if it wasn't, what are you hiding? There's no reason to hide it then.
Did they win?
Georgia won.
Are they any good this year?
Georgia's okay.
Yeah.
They're okay. They've got the guy who actually leads the nation in home runs, 31-12 record. They might be a regional team.
I saw where Zeke's going back to try it again with the Cowboys, and then
how about that?
He's a shell of himself. I'm an Ezekiel Elliott fan, don't get me wrong, but I saw him playing there in New England, and New England's a mess anyways. But if he could be your goal line guy or a third down guy, I don't know. You got to it's for a roster spot, and he's very, very limited in what he can do. It'd be tough for him, but yeah. Father Time catches up with you. Then I saw the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, that your two boys that which I don't think I mean, you couldn't pay me enough to get in the ring with Mike Tyson for real, and so that's going to be interesting to see. But it's going to be sanctioned, so it's going to be
like a real pro fight.
8
right?
2-minute rounds, 14-ounce gloves, no headgear.
No, I was going to say this is a pro fight. That means no headgear.
No headgear, 14-ounce. Well, you want lighter gloves. The lighter gloves you can get is the advantage Tyson. But the you want as light as you can get. But 8 2-minute rounds, I think that's advantage Tyson too. Sticking to the 2-minute rounds, he could probably give you 6. So you got to make it those first 3. That's gonna be tough.
Let's take a phone call from Chris in Greenwood. Hi, Chris. Thanks for calling. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. 3 really quick things, real quick. You talked about women's basketball earlier. Has Mike not had any interest in this girl from Greenwood, who I guess is the best player in the state?
I don't know what to tell you, Chris. I don't know who it is.
Okay. Anna Story, I guess, is her name. She's incredible player. I just was curious about that. Second thing, I was wondering, I saw this thing come up about the NFL is going to let them wear those shells on their helmets in the fall. Is that really true?
It's the Tom Rathman law. It's the Tom Rathman rule. Yeah, those dummy shells. Who's
going to wear these in a game, though, really? Anyone?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Are they going to have the logos of the teams on those? I mean, I can't imagine a team would give up their logo covering it with the shell.
I mean, yeah, every time you see the shell on it, you can't tell what team anybody's practicing with because they're only wearing when they're practicing. I think in Major League Baseball allowed pitchers to wear the protective cap, which made their hat look like they had like some sort of like a second head on top of his head. No, but I don't think anybody's wearing it. There might have been one guy that wore it, but they look. This feels different than when it was okay to wear a batting helmet in the 50s, but nobody wore it because they didn't want to be the first to be viewed as a sissy necessarily. Do you ever wear those helmets, Matt? Were those helmet pad that they put on top of the helmet? Is that a thing when you were practicing?
No, that's a newer thing.
Yeah, Chris, I guess I'd be surprised if anybody would wear those in a game, just because how it looks.
Well, I thought that what I read is they're going to have to, that all the teams are going to, it's a new rule starting in the fall. And I thought, how silly is that going to be? But, you know, the way they protect quarterbacks, I mean, NFL's gotten so sissy now anyway that maybe they don't care. And finally, I haven't heard how you guys feel about this 2-minute warning in college football. Coming in the fall.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, we have 2-minute warning in the NFL. It makes sense to have one in college football then too. I don't have a problem with it. It does add another timeout. Are there people that have a problem with the 2-minute warning in college football?
Yeah, they're putting it in the fall, and I was curious about the communication in the helmets. Is that something you guys are cool with too?
That's been cleared. I don't know what probably should have happened years ago. Again, that's something that most of these, that I think all, at least Power 5 schools should have the financial capability to pay for those. So
it's going to make quarterback play better. It just is. You're going to be able to, on the OC is going to be able to be in your ear, just giving you pointers and useful tips. And it's like the little paperclip in Windows 95. You know, you go in there and click on that, and it tells you what to do.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. It's like the idea of the earpiece for pitchers. That has not led to the game being slowed down. Now, there's a couple times where the earpiece doesn't work, so you just switch out for another one, and it helps the game move along. We don't have to worry about signs. You don't have to worry about asking the catcher to go do the signs again. Signs ended up slowing things down. And in this case, you won't have signs with weird things going on on the placards on the sidelines, and you can't steal signs anymore. I think it's got to be a good thing for football. I can't imagine that it isn't. And again, it's 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline. I can't imagine that these Guardian caps are going to be mandated by the NFL.
It's optional.
Yeah, I would think it would just be optional if you want to wear them. But they do look different. They look like something I've seen young kids wearing around the house when the parents are nervous about them bumping into corners because their heads are about the same height as the corner of the table and the counter and all of that. Yeah, it doesn't look great, but hey, they didn't think batting helmets looked great when ball players first started wearing those. All right, quick break. Wrap up hour number 2 on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com in just a minute.
This is Halftime.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You need money.
You get a job. Turns out that job doesn't pay near enough for the nonsense it puts you through every day. You want to move fast, but the clock moves slow. You're smart, though. You know machines. You want to work at a place as fast as you. You call Medley Equipment Company. They need a technician, and they'll teach you everything you need to know to be the best, with pay raises all along. Because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Bo Tommy. Visit medley.com or come see us at 2150 Ford Avenue, Springdale, Arkansas.
Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Come on over to Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer and a Cinnabogan authorized service provider. From excavators with the best-in-class breakout force to powerful skid steers, we'll be sure to find the right equipment for you. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
We're going over to the Johnson's yard. You're gonna love it. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet over there.
Well, what about that yard over there?
Oh, we can't go in that yard. You see that yellow sign? That says Mosquito Joe. What do you think, I was born yesterday?
Actually, yeah, we both were.
Don't be a mosquito buffet this year. Call Mosquito Joe for a free quote at 479-202-9960 or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com. Outside is fun again.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith, or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Well, looks like Brandon Garrison is still in Fayetteville, the Oklahoma State center. Apparently, Jonas Adu may have been sitting next to John Calipari at the second game of Saturday's doubleheader at Baum-Walker Stadium. That's a photo that Kevin McPherson had tweeted out and says he has forensically examined several photos, and it looks like Adu is sitting next to him. Cal threw out a first pitch for the second game on Saturday, Matt. He did well, too. He threw a strike. He went up to the top of the pitcher's mound. He didn't throw it from the front slope. He didn't try to do too much either. He didn't try to fire it in. I think the kid that had thrown the first pitch for the first game bounced it. Cal did not bounce it. He's thrown the first pitch before. I saw a photo that he was at a Cincinnati Reds game when he was still the Kentucky coach and threw out a first pitch there. But it was that was more pomp and circumstance surrounding a ceremonial first pitch than I'd ever seen in a game at Baum-Walker Stadium. You had the administration members in the dugout while the players are coming in there. Cal comes out, starts warming up. He and Van Horn had a conversation, and it just wasn't your average first pitch. He did well with it.
That's good. No surprise there.
No, it looked to me like he'd played baseball.
You have, essentially, I know we talked about this, I don't know, 6 months ago or so, or I brought it up, but you essentially have the best SEC coach in 2 of the 3 sports in right now. I mean, in Coach Cal in basketball and Coach Van Horn in baseball. I mean, that's 2 first-class coaches, and I'm a Sam Pittman fan, but we all know what order it goes in.
Yeah, I mean, everybody will have an opinion as to who is the better coach as of now and everything. When I look at a career, it's a level of consistency, of excellence every single year into the postseason. And then there's various levels of success in the postseason. Of course, Dave's one of the rare coaches that's taken 2 teams to Omaha, and Cal is one of only 2 coaches that has ever taken 3 teams to the Final Four. And look, I mean, all the idea that there hadn't been postseason success for Kentucky basketball in the last 5 years, they were still really good in the regular season, especially this year. It's the same with last year's baseball team. Didn't have any success in the postseason, won an SEC regular season championship, and I mean, you're in the golden age of baseball right now. So yeah, you're right about that. And then you look at some of the other coaches, with track, with softball. You do have a great set of coaches up there on the hill. There's no doubt about that. And I think they can all throw a ceremonial first pitch. Like if you're going to be a coach and you're coming on campus, usually you get a chance to throw a ceremonial first pitch. I'm trying to think of all the coaches I've seen do it before, and they all get the chance to do it because it's like the one place you can be honored at halftime of a football game. Not a lot of people are paying too much attention at halftime of a football game. For the ceremonial first pitch, I mean, people are usually kind of there watching it. You can stay with us. Give us a call or a text. McClarty Daniel hotline 877-377-6963. And they'll be the 3rd hour of halftime in just a moment.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Can you explain the infield fly rule? Neither can I, but I can help you navigate a variety of legal issues, from divorce to personal injury to estate planning. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, a new law firm offering affordable flat fees with payment plans available. You get an ace at the price of a minor leaguer. Now that sounds like a grand slam to me. Call Mock Legal Solutions for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be dry across the north, possibly seeing an isolated shower or thunderstorm early across the south. Otherwise, everybody clears out for this afternoon. Highs today into the upper 70s. Tonight, mainly clear. An overnight low will drop down low 50s north, upper 50s south, and sunshine returning on Tuesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that we respect it.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Back in now for hour number 3 of Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Bill Elson, Matt Jones, the C Unit, Kristen Johnston is producing. We'll have Connor O'Gara coming up in just a little bit. I was over at the batting cages with my son yesterday. He was supposed to have a Little League game today, but it's been canceled because of rain. And I saw something that made me question where it is that I'm living. If I'm living in the United States or maybe living somewhere in Europe. Although I don't know how many batting cages there are in Europe. There's a kid who's and I sent Matt this photo because it just kind of hit me a little bit. He's got a bat. He's wearing baseball pants. He's got a batting helmet on. He's standing there at a batting cage waiting for his turn. He's wearing a shirt that says Mbappe on the back of it with a French flag. Soccer jerseys for batting practice is a new thing, but I guess, Matt, this is the world we live in. He truly is. He is a worldwide star, and now even young baseball players are wearing his jersey to the batting cages.
When you're that age, you need to play all the sports. That's right. I saw somebody when it was like, "Hey man, I like your jersey." Had on an Italian national team jersey. That's who I go for, and they're like, "No, I got this on sale. I don't even like soccer."
So I remember I
like the color.
We had some kids come and stay with us in high school that were from Mexico, and they gave us Mexican soccer. It felt like a shirt because it was collared, like with the insignia on the left breast and everything. It was like, well, that's the only soccer shirt that I ever got. Like I had when I played youth soccer, and the organization I played in growing up was called Dynamo, Pittsburgh Dynamo. But those were just T-shirts. They weren't jerseys. It's usually like I would have just expected you see a kid who's at a batting cage that's wearing a jersey. That maybe it would be, I don't know, Mike Trout or Ohtani or Aaron Judge or Mookie Betts, one of them. He can't be the only kid in the country that's wearing a soccer jersey to a batting cage, but the fact that it's a French soccer star, albeit somebody who is known worldwide, and probably known more worldwide than any baseball player maybe in the history of the sport, it just hit me. It hit me a little bit. I mean, soccer's become so much more accepted isn't the word, followed is the word. I mean, this kid's not going to be wearing the Mbappe jersey if he hasn't watched him play. So here's a kid who loves baseball, and he's obviously watching he's watching worldwide soccer too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I bought in 2 soccer jerseys that I've actually bought. Now I have a couple more, but Roberto Firmino, he was kind of playing as a false 9 then for Liverpool, but he was like Peyton Stovall. You put him in anywhere, or Peyton Holt. He could play anywhere. He could link it up, and he was always just a little bit better. But they're just ballerina ninjas, man. He jumped up and does this kick with his leg, and then catches the ball with your foot as you're spinning, comes down, and you're just. The amount of talent, the athletic ability, the fact that they're ambidextrous. How many times you see Peyton Manning throw it with his left hand? You know, how many times you see Kyrie Irving shoot with his left hand? Every time we see that, we put it on SportsCenter for an hour, because it's like we're not used to seeing somebody play with their left thumb. They can do that. I mean, it's really unbelievable, the athletes that they are.
In a couple weeks when Mississippi State comes to Baum Walker, we're going to see a pitcher who throws with both arms. Durangelo Cinci is a starting pitcher for Mississippi State, and a good one. He throws lefty against the lefties. He throws righty against the righties. I've never seen anybody do that before. I can't wait to see it.
That's going to be pretty cool.
I think it'll be really cool. Yeah. This guy's got a 6-fingered glove. I mean, it works on both hands. I know Mike Maddox could do that. Mike Maddox is Greg Maddox's brother, and he's a pitching coach. I was with the Rangers recently. He's been all over the place. But he could do that. I just don't know how often it was that he did that. If he did, I never saw him do it. So I can't wait to see that. I also saw a kid wearing a Dallas Stars jersey at the batting cage. But that's an American team, and it's close by. It just really stood out to see a French soccer jersey on a kid that was practicing baseball. Rob on I-40 has given us a phone call right here on the McClarty Daniel hotline, and you can do the same, 877-377-6963. Good afternoon, Rob. How are you?
I'm doing fine. This is your soccer intervention. I figured I'd better call in and put a stop to this madness right now.
Well, sir, get us going in the right direction then.
Yeah, basketball. John Calipari. Must moved out to USC. I wonder if he's regretting that right now. Have you seen what's going on that campus?
I've seen what's going on the campus, but I don't really know how much the basketball coach really is like paying attention to it or cares much. But he is a coach through and through, so I don't know if he's regretting that or not.
Well, they canceled commencement. That's pretty bad for this class. And I'm like,
I read.
Yeah.
Does that affect his ability to recruit?
I don't know. I mean, if I were a student and I wanted to go somewhere, I really wouldn't want to be in the middle of a turf war between the Arabs and the Israelis. That's has a bad track record. I wouldn't want to go out there myself. If I was a college student, I'd say I don't want that mess.
What about Steve Sarkisian? They had some stuff go down as far as the protests were concerned at Texas. Do you think that affects Texas athletics? If it affects USC, it would have to affect them. That's not the only college or university where these protests are occurring.
Yeah, if I was the dean of a college right now, I'd be putting a stop to that real quick, because that could affect everybody if it happens like early next year again. Because as long as this is going on, they let it happen. It ain't the first, and it probably won't be the last,
Feels like we're living through the 60s and 70s again, Rob, huh?
You know, that's pretty much it, except I think the Kentucky basketball team just became a real rival now.
Oh, I think they were a rival beforehand. I just think it's going to a different level now. I think it's going to a much different level.
They got to hate us. They've got to hate us now.
Well, I mean, I think, look, I mean, I'm trying to learn to not go off of what I'm seeing on social media, but that's all you have to go off of. Because I'm not friends with Kentucky fans. I don't text with Kentucky fans. I don't live in Kentucky. I'm going there this next weekend, so maybe I can do a little research for you. Maybe I'll hold up a sign that says, holler if you hate Cal, and see what happens when I'm at Kentucky Proud Park. I'm sure everybody there will have an opinion about it.
Well, I love that he's here. Anyway, that's all I got.
Okay, thank you, Rob. I appreciate it. 877-377-6963 for calls and for texts. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if political protests and the wake that is left behind them affects anything going on in an athletic department. You know, I mean, USC is a large school. But it is understood. Look, if you cancel commencement, you've got something pretty serious on your hands. But it's happening coast to coast. It's happening on both coasts. It happened in Texas. You know, I mean, there's a certain point where free speech, and we want to get the deans to shut those things down. Free speech is supposed to mean something until it turns violent. Now, I don't know if that necessarily happened. I know we've got threats of violence on some of these campuses, so it's a pretty complicated topic, other than just they got to shut this thing down. And I don't know if it affects sports or not. Columbia's had a real issue with things as far as the protests are concerned and some of the language that's being spoken. Their baseball team has won the Ivy League, so it didn't seem to affect them very much. I mean, it's a small sample. There's a million things, there's 10 billion things going on in New York City too, and that city seems to be able to move right along, and there's the same in Los Angeles. What's that?
Yeah, I was going to say Villanova's pretty good in basketball. They're 17 minutes from downtown Manhattan.
All right. We need to break, and we will have Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South coming up in just a moment on halftime.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com.
Deep to right center field. You gotta go. That ball is gone. Kendall Dix will send it back to the hotel. For the walk-off homer, the Hogs win 6-5 on Dix's 11th of the year. Struck him out looking. Force play at second. Holt has to hold on to it. Throws behind him at third. Double play. What an incredibly smart play by Peyton Holt.
Listen to every Razorback baseball game on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Attention, this happens fast. You're on the forklift in your warehouse when it breaks down. You call Medley Equipment Company. Talk to Debbie.
Hello.
Debbie tells you they'll get you moving again. Debbie talks to a service tech.
Yep, I can do it.
Tech says when they can be there. That nice Debbie lady calls you back.
Hello.
Saying your forklift will be fixed in a few hours.
Nice.
Pretty fast, right? We're just trying to keep up because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Bo Tommy. Visit medley.com or come see us at 2150 Ford Avenue, Springdale, Arkansas.
The Steel Horse Rally is coming to town May 3rd and 4th. Get ready for it with Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith. Need a new or pre-owned motorcycle to show off on Garrison Avenue at the rally? Need to get new tires or repairs done so you can join the poker run or parade? Need new riding gear? We've been serving the motorcycle community in the Fort Smith area for 57 years and are the 9th oldest Kawasaki dealer in the nation. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Connor O'Gara is the national columnist, senior national columnist at Saturday Down South, and we appreciate his time on Mondays here on Halftime. And Connor, how you doing after the draft? You got a day to at least kind of like let everything digest, right?
Yeah, that Sunday after the NFL draft with what we do and writing predominantly about college football, it's a glorious day. And that's not to say I don't love the draft and, look forward to it, love all the storylines that come out. But that Sunday after the NFL draft, it does hit a bit differently. So, yeah, we're doing a bunch of draft recap stuff today on the site. They've got stuff that we're doing on the podcast and way too early 2025 stuff because you got to turn the page. But yeah, Sunday was a good recharge day for all of us in this business.
Hey, Connor, what if out of all these quarterbacks that went in the first round, what if I said Bo Nix has the best chance to be the Rookie of the Year or Offensive Player of the Year? What would you say? Who do you think out of the quarterbacks? Is it Jaden Daniels at the Commanders? Which one of these 6 quarterbacks do you think will be Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, I mean, I love what Bo Nix has done, and I give him so much credit for overcoming Chad Morris to be able to get to number 12 overall in the NFL draft. I mean, all-time feat to be able to do that. Ultimate, respect for him. But I don't necessarily look at him as a day one starter, despite all the college reps that he has. I think he's still got some work to do to show that he can make some of those next-level reads. So I probably wouldn't go in that direction. I would instead go in the much more biased direction of Caleb Williams, just because look at the pieces that he's surrounded with. And I know the history of Chicago Bears quarterbacks as well as anyone. Trust me, that is my entire life. But you look at the pieces that they've been able to add at the wide receiver position with Rome Odunze, with bringing over a Keenan Allen, and then DJ Moore, who was tremendous last year. And then you actually have a really good defense already. And that's just not a team that typically picks at number 1. So if they can stay healthy at the tackle spots on the offensive line, like Caleb Williams is going to have some growing pain moments, but he's a starter from the jump. And there's a reason why there are Bears fans who are so unbelievably excited and convinced that this time will be different. And I think it's because of what situation he walks into as a year 1 guy.
What about Rattler? I still think Spencer Rattler can be a productive NFL quarterback, and he slipped a little farther than we all expected to.
Yeah, Phil, I was pretty frustrated watching the way that this developed. Look, I think there are a lot of opinions out there about who he was on the Netflix show QB1, which was filmed over 6 years ago, and who he was even in Oklahoma. And everybody knows how that plays out. It's his job. Caleb Williams, ends up winning that job in the middle of that 21 or in the middle of that 21 season. And then he goes to South Carolina. Based on the conversations that Pete Thamel and Ian Rappaport, and I think Adam Schefter even as well, were having with NFL front offices, you could have convinced yourself that the last 2 years of his career just didn't happen at South Carolina, and that this wasn't someone who matured and someone who checked every single box at South Carolina. You never heard a bad thing about him. And look, I've seen it up close. I've seen him interact. I know from talking with people there, he checked every possible box. And still, you have people bringing up a Netflix show from high school and like who he was at Oklahoma. And, depending on who you talk to, like his perceived reputation there was much different than what, people were saying about him. I just didn't get it. And I thought this year he had every reason to complain with how bad that offensive line was. And he loses his best receiver, and he had his best season. And so for that guy to fall as far as he did in the 5th round, I'm not saying he's an NFL starter from the jump, but I looked at that as just a great injustice for someone that has really done a lot of the things that you would hope someone in his position would do who had those ups and downs early in his career.
I'm an Xavier Legette fan. He went in the last pick in the 1st round. Hey, Connor, the other kid, the other Xavier that went to the Chiefs, and then Ricky Purcell, that would be the last 3 receivers drafted. Out of those 3 receivers, which one of those guys you think went to the best spot to have instant success?
I think Ricky Purcell. Ricky Purcell was a stud at Florida this past year. I mean, I think people would be stunned that, because they want to put him in the traditional wide receiver box, they would be stunned to see how good his catch radius was and how interchangeable he was in that offense. Some of the plays that guy made this year with a quarterback situation that, look, was good, but they weren't necessarily stretching the field in ways that I think other teams were. I think that there were a lot of people that once they had a second chance to be able to look at Ricky Purcell, they were thinking, man, this guy is phenomenal. And I don't know if you guys saw the reaction that C.J. Stroud had. I think it was a Bleacher Report live stream that they were doing, but C.J. Stroud had this notable reaction during this live stream where he was so bummed that Ricky Purcell came off the board because he was hoping the Texans were going to take him. And he's like, that guy can flat out ball. And I think he went to a situation with the 49ers where, look, they're figuring out what they're going to do with Brandon Ayuk. I know that the Deebo Samuel contract could be one that they try and move off of as well. So they got so young at that spot, and they get somebody that's going to be able to step in and be put all over the field as this interchangeable piece in Kyle Shanahan's offense. I think he's got the tools to play right away and play for, maybe one of the best teams in the NFL.
Who had the most players drafted this year overall? And if it was not in the SEC, who had the most drafted out of the SEC this year?
Well, it is kind of an SEC storyline because Michigan ends up having the most players drafted overall. They have 13 players drafted, but the entire storyline was that Michigan was going to break Georgia's record from a couple of years ago. And Georgia had 15 selections in the 22 draft, and the thinking was that Michigan would do the same. And they actually had 3 of the last 9 picks in the draft to be able to get to 13. So they came up short of that. How about Texas having 11? 11 picks from a team that went to the college football playoff. They won the Big 12. They won in Big 12 play by an average of 17 points per game. And Steve Sarkisian returns a team that's top 25 in the country in percentage of returning production. And they have legitimate national championship hopes. They return their starting quarterback, by the way, with 4 returning starters on that offensive line. They are really, really set up moving forward. And while I am not one to say that Texas is back, because I think you need to show over more than one season that you are an elite team, but man, if Texas is ever going to be back, this is what it's going to look like. I just thought they had an absolute whale of a draft, even compared to a team like Alabama, who had 10 selections, or Georgia, who had 8. Felt like it was a legitimate national championship contender.
Yeah, I like Seattle's pick. They got that D lineman, Byron Murphy, the second out of Texas. He fell to the 16th pick. Brock Bowers falling to the 13th. I was really surprised. Atlanta. I'm a Michael Penix fan, so I really kind of thought that Atlanta might take the hometown guy there. But a lot of talk's been talked about Michael Penix and him going 8. What are your thoughts there? Good fit?
Yeah, look, I think the problem that so many people have with it isn't the fact that the Falcons drafted Penix. I think if they take him, they trade back in the first round even to acquire an extra pick, I think everybody's kind of looking at that with a bit of a raised eyebrow because the $100 million guaranteed to Kirk Cousins this offseason. But they're at least saying, okay, well, they did something, and they kind of acknowledged that they could get him a little bit later, and instead to draft him at 8 overall is just kind of wild. And look, I've seen a lot of Michael Penix, and I think what he has done in his career after 4 season-ending injuries is nothing short of remarkable. I mean, to get to this place in his career, he was the best pure passer in the draft. But I think the problem that a lot of people had with the pick was you didn't need to get that guy at 8 overall. Like, especially when you spend all that money to get Kirk Cousins and to bring him over there with the guaranteed money with a 4-year contract, and you sign an oft-injured 24-year-old quarterback with your first-round pick when you have a lot of other areas to address. So, yeah, it's a weird fit from that standpoint, but Michael Penix making it as an NFL quarterback is by no means crazy, and if he does get that opportunity with an injured Kirk Cousins, he could have a stage. It's just how they spent their money and why they invested so much in 2 different quarterbacks.
This quarterback draft can't be as good as 83, right? I mean, nobody would have known in 83. You get 3 Hall of Famers out of there, and they would be legendary. But these 2 drafts will always be compared just because of the number of quarterbacks that went in the first round. I know, like Marino, I think was the last pick of the first round in 83. You had 6 in the first 12 this time around. You get 3 Hall of Famers out of this class. Nobody knows, but they're going to be compared to 83 just because.
Yeah, they will be. And I was surprised that it was 6 in the first 12. I didn't think that'd be the case. I was kind of mentally setting the over-under at 4.5 and thinking that I would probably take the under, and I thought McCarthy would be the 4th quarterback picked, and then Bo Nix and Michael Penix would have to wait until night 2 to hear their names called. And instead, it felt like everybody was saying, well, the quarterback class for next year isn't very good, so we've got to go up and get one this year. And then the gap that came between Bo Nix at 12 overall and Spencer Rattler at 150 overall, that is an unprecedented gap at quarterback. And it kind of tells you, look, people aren't really drafting for backup quarterbacks. That's just not the way that the NFL typically works. And so I think that's why that gap was so significant. But you're right. I mean, it is going to be compared to these all-time draft classes. I think there are a lot of people also wondering at the same time, will this be 2021, that quarterback class that seemed really top-heavy, that you're looking at now going, man, Trevor Lawrence is like the only guy that's still with his team, even, heading into year 4. So, yeah, it's going to have a lot of eyeballs on it. There will be some busts and probably a couple of Hall of Famers. Hopefully Caleb Williams is, at least one of them.
So what do you think when you see that Jaden Rashada now ends up at Georgia? It goes from, I think he was committed to Miami initially, and then it goes Florida, NIL blows up, Arizona State, 2 or 3 games? So red shirt. Now Georgia, which must mean the NIL worked for him this time around in the SEC.
Maybe it did. The Jaden Rashada situation is shades of Tate Martell, and that's what I worry about. You worry about the people that are in his ear at this stage of his career and all the things that have been said and written about him, and kind of understandably so. And I was talking to Tom Luganville about this last week, about he has really become the face of negative NIL-based recruiting. To see this guy that is now, like you said, former Miami commit, and then it's Florida, then the NIL doesn't work out, and then it's Arizona State, and you have this young offensive-minded head coach and Kenny Dillingham, and it doesn't really work out there. So now you want another opportunity at Georgia. Eventually, it comes back to you and whether or not you're actually able to spin it. Eventually, it does. You're not going to get a chance to spin it this year at Georgia unless something goes wrong with Carson Beck. But, have you set yourself up to get elite coaching and try and make a college career for yourself? That's ultimately the question I think Jaden Rashada is asking himself, or at least I hope he is, because so far there's just no way that this was supposed to play out this way. I don't know what it looked like on the back end with NIL deals. Georgia's been a little bit more, timid in the transfer portal with guaranteed money for some of these guys. But I do think that it does look like more of a cautionary tale so far. And if he ends up succeeding in the SEC, I think it would kind of be against the odds at this point with the way that things have played out.
Connor, we'll leave it there. Appreciate your visits on these Mondays. Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, appreciate it.
Thank you, Connor.
Connor O'Gara is national senior columnist at Saturday Down South. Hey, you're making plans to get out on the lake this year over the next couple of months maybe. You're fishing for cold water bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, trophy browns on the Mighty White. Well, have the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue with you. It's going to help you catch them with the famous rolling action when you fish it extremely slow or work it fast in heavy current. The Rogue suspends. It's in the strike zone longer. You'll catch more fish. Find the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue at lurnet.com and tackle stores everywhere, or call and text on the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. Back in a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
Arkansas, we have heard you loud and clear. That's right, over 300 in-stock heavy duties ready for delivery. And now Ram has lowered the MSRP on their heavy-duty trucks up to $10,000. That's right, and Red River has offered up to another $10,000 off. Folks, you won't find a better deal anywhere else in the state than right here. No one's going to give you a better deal during Ram Truck Month. So make that beautiful drive right here to Heber Springs.
Or check us out on the web at redriverdodge.com.
And at Red River, we deliver.
This NFL Draft Player Profile is brought to you by ServPro.
Today, the NFL is full of general managers who'd erase past draft boards and pretend like it never even happened. For instance, 198 draft picks were taken before the New England Patriots drafted Tom Brady, even though Brady was considered by me to be a proven big-game signal caller who stood tall in the pocket with incredible accuracy and touch on his throws coming into the draft.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Need a new roof? Shamrock Roofing and Construction can have you covered right now for as low as $139.99 with approved credit. For quality and peace of mind, one call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100.
Supply issues are no issue at Shamrock Roofing and Construction. As one of America's largest roofing companies, we stocked up early and we stocked up big. We can do your job right now. And because we paid less for our material, we can share those savings with you. Call today or visit us at shamrockroofer.com.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine. On North 11th Street is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle. Also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Dial Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle. 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith. 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
We're just like our friends. We just can't get still. Good lovers make up plans. We are reason someone's real. We can't help but feel it's something else than love. You know you're just like me. Next time I promise.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
We're going to the home stretch here on halftime. We hit the McClarty Daniel hotline. Mike in Russellville has called us here. Hey, Mike, appreciate you calling. What's going on?
Hey, guys. I was just driving home after working a little bit this morning. Long time ago, graduate of the University of Arkansas. I yell for every program we have, men and women. Really concerned over Arkansas football recruiting. Seems like we've had a lot of whipping on recruits, decommitment, and transfer portal guys. What y'all think's going on? Maybe just the year we had, NIL, lacking funds, just y'all's opinion. And also, Phil, you may not be able to answer this as well as I might be interested in, but women's basketball, it just seems like you've almost got an implosion going on with something with Mike. And your thoughts, however you can answer that. And I'm going to hang up and listen, guys.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike.
Evaluate
the football aspect first.
Yeah, evaluate and prioritize. We're lacking in both of those. We're not evaluating the right talent, and we're not prioritizing the right guys either. We're letting our in-state guys get out of state. You let Missouri whoop you on the field and come into your backyard and take your best players. We had 0 guys. I mean, who's a skill guy? Who last year was? Armstrong. I like that dude. I like Satania. But you look at the team. I mean, there's not a whole lot of. We're lacking in talent. You got to get some better dudes up there, man. The SEC's real, man. It's 100% real. If you don't have some speed and some power and some talent, you're going to be 1-7 again.
I think no. Look, there are some guys that did not get recruited from the state of Arkansas. That who knows what they end up turning into. But when I looked at I saw this graphic on Max Preps that Arkansas did not have a single player taken in the NFL draft. I mean, from the state. Anyone from the state of Arkansas did not go in the NFL draft. We're the only state within this area, in the
SEC footprint.
In the it means more footprint that had nobody drafted from the state of Arkansas, joining Wyoming, New Mexico, Alaska, Montana, North Dakota, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Rhode Island. I mean, look, a lot of these states end up having more people than Arkansas. Look, I mean, Massachusetts, not a hotbed of college football. They had 2 players taken. There's a lot more people there. But still, just even around the area. Mississippi, 5 players from Mississippi, 4 from Tennessee, 1 from Kentucky. Missouri had 4, Oklahoma had 2, Texas, obviously, 24, Louisiana, 11. Arkansas's right there in the middle with 0. We got to do something about the level of talent in the state, too. Okay, and to point out that there's this player and that player from the state that didn't get recruited by Arkansas or was recruited and they chose somewhere else, understood. But there should probably be at least 1 kid from the state of Arkansas that goes in the NFL draft this year, next year, the year after. As far as women's basketball is concerned, look, I mean, I think last year's team imploded. There's no other way to put it. The lack of chemistry, I think, went into what happened off the field. You can see that. It spilled out into public view with Talia Scott and Samara Spencer kind of going at each other a little bit on TikTok. You got to be able to nip that in the bud, but also you can't tell somebody to like someone and respect somebody. You can only try to get them to think that way. And I just don't think it didn't occur. We're also focusing so much on who left. We need to see who's coming in. Yeah, you lost all the players from last year, essentially. But you're bringing in this girl Higginbottom. I think she's going to score here. I think she's going to score a lot. There's obviously a lot more you need to be able to bring in. So it's like when we see it the first week of the portal opening in football, everybody's leaving. No one's coming in. But you're kind of waiting here for hearing about more players coming in. You had the girl from junior college, Ojanua, I think is her name, 6'4". Hopefully what she did in junior college ball translates to the SEC. It doesn't always, and sometimes it does. I'm I'm willing to give her a shot and see how it works out. But there's a lot more recruiter that has to come here because you don't have. I think right now, how many players are left from last year that you can really feel are ready to go out and play for you? Not many of them. So, yeah, I mean, I think there is the idea of momentum too in some cases, like with football and looking for greener pastures somewhere else. With women's basketball, I think NIL is a partial reason why, but we'll also have to wait and see like where Miriam chooses to go, where Sam chooses to go, whether they are SEC programs or whether they've got NIL. But I think it's pretty obvious right now NIL is a problem for Arkansas women's basketball. And I don't know if there's come to Jesus meetings to be had, but when the locker room is blowing itself up, it isn't the easiest thing to just be like, all right, we're just going to have a powwow. We're going to all get together. We're going to all talk about our problems, and we're all going to get along from this point. I just think the personalities didn't mesh. Be about the right way I'd put it there. And for the football thing, Matt, We got. I mean, I don't expect Arkansas as a hotbed of NFL talent, but when we look at the amount of kids that are playing basketball in the state that are in the NBA, it's like there are athletes here. There are athletes here. There are big athletes here who are fast and quick. And I don't know if it's a matter of, well, you're making a choice at some point as a kid which direction you're going to go. You know, play basketball, it's a little safer. Play football, not so much. But does it feel like more of the professional level talent is choosing basketball?
You might be seeing some of that. Yeah, and I think this was the first year in, I don't know, 2 decades that we haven't had a guy from the state get drafted. So we'll bounce back. There's just you said something earlier about green pastures. The greenest pastures are right here. They're right there in Fayetteville, man. You want to that's why you talk about Snacks Johnson, and I thought the kid's a good player, but it's like you can't compete on a team that went 1-7 for a starting job. Where do you think you're going to compete for? I mean, go show you can play in the SEC. There's opportunity, abundance of opportunity up there. When you're 1-7, every job's on the line. There's no penciled in starters. You got to go earn it. You got to go practice and get your work. And there's a lot of playing time available up there.
And he went back to where he was.
He's comfortable there.
He went back to where he was before. I don't know if there was a spot open for him there, or if you got to compete again, right? I mean, you've already competed in spring ball. How often do we hear you want to get people on campus before spring ball so that they're learning your schemes and they're learning your personnel and teammates and everything? I'm sure that Snacks has teammates on Baylor from 2 years ago that are still there. Schemes don't always stay the same. I mean, they had some problems, I think, keeping opponents from scoring. Maybe they made a change at defensive coordinator. It just felt like somebody going back to a place that he was comfortable with, and maybe comfortable with maybe even competing for playing time in a place where he wasn't sure whether or not he was going to start or not. 877-377-6963 calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline. I saw, so you said this Tyson Jake Paul fight is a pro fight. You know that means that Tyson will have gone 19 years between professional fights, 2005 through 2024. And if it's a pro fight, what's the difference between it being an exhibition and being a pro fight? The sanctioning body is involved in that, obviously. No headgear is the thing that, to me, makes it, makes the danger palpable.
Probably certain types of drug testing too, like with the steroids and I mean, I bet there's just more rules and regulations. Like I said, those 14-ounce gloves, I wish they were 8. I want to take a punch with Tyson with an 8-ounce glove.
July 20th, a little less than 2 months away.
You're
Netflix, remember, it's like you got a Netflix account. It's right there for you.
Is it gonna be real in the sense like when Tyson and Roy Jones had their bout, their sparring match with the head, I had zero interest because it was labeled as a sparring match. It's just like, and I get it. It was
choreographed.
So is that what are you believing any of this? Are you buying into it? Is this going to be 100% real, or do you think this is stage theater? That's my question. Is
like part wrestling match?
Yeah. How much of this do you think is 100% authentic?
We'll see if Thunder Lips is walking down the aisle at any point to get involved in this match. I mean, I want to believe it's real. I really do. It makes me. I think all of Paul's fights previously have been real, or at least they've come across like that. I can't imagine Tyson getting involved in a pro fight that is not real, because I think he still I think there's pride as an athlete at that age, even now, like agreeing to come back, and you don't want to do anything that's going to take away from your legacy. I don't think there's anything that really could from Tyson's legacy from back when he was great and all the good and the bad that came from that. But if there's anything that does make it look staged, like if it's a sparring match like it was with Jones and you're wearing headgear, you'd be like, all right, this is different. This is a lot different. The danger factor is not the same. But no headgear. It feels like it's going to be a real boxing match. I just wonder how many people are showing up at AT&T Stadium to view this in person. I imagine that the ratings will be pretty heavy because it's going to be promoted, and Tyson's name still carries weight. How many people will show up? You know, I mean, you get, 70,000 people or so in there for a football game? And you can actually sell seats on the floor and everything like that. I don't imagine you could get 80 to 90,000, maybe 100,000 in there for it.
Yeah, it'd be like that basketball game they did. Was that in Nebraska Stadium? Or was it a volleyball game? Yeah, they did outside.
And they had a basketball game, too.
But you're able to put that court over there and then you can sell other tickets, yeah.
Well, they've done a Final Four. Have we done the Final Four at AT&T Stadium? It would make sense if you did. It's been open long enough. We played in football stadiums so much, they had to have. But like a boxing ring, that is so much smaller than a basketball court is. It'll look like a tiny little box, you know, right in the middle of the football field.
So Holyfield, Tyson bit the ear. What was the Tyson fight where homie flew in on the wind parasail thing?
I don't know if that was Tyson. That was Riddick Bowe.
That was Riddick Bowe
and Evander Holyfield.
So that's So Holyfield's in both of those. Okay, all right.
That was, what was that guy's name? Jumpman? No, that wasn't Jumpman. That's Michael Jordan's logo. Gosh, the guy had a name, and they beat the snot out of him when he actually landed in the court, landed on the ring, because I think it was Riddick Bowe's own people beat the snot out of this guy. What was that guy's name? I'd have to look that up in a moment. Yeah, we also have to wrap things up on halftime. We'll do that after the break.
This is halftime.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on remaining 2023 Buick Envisions. Or choose up to $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision, it's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
The American Patriot Promotions Gun Show is coming to the Sebastian County Fairgrounds in Greenwood, Saturday, May the 4th and Sunday, May the 5th. Tickets are just $10 per person, $8 for veterans, military, and active police force. Plus, children 16 and under get in free. On Saturday, the event goes from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. and Sunday from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. For more information, go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com. May the 4th be with you.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. No win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Would you like to look out? Sometimes I'm just with my friends online, and there's things we like to change. The next thing you'll find, not a shame.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Taking a phone call from Cecil here on our last segment. Cecil, good to hear from you. What's going on?
What up, fellas? I'm in the lab. Listening to my favorite radio station, sports station, man.
That's great.
Man, I'm gonna tell you guys, I really enjoy y'all, man. Y'all make part of my day every day. About that fight, man. This is how I feel about it. Tyson gets paid and Jake Paul gets fame. Jake don't care about no money. He just wants the fame. Now just think about it. Tyson ain't, his finances is not like it used to be. He coming up though, and if you can remember 2 years ago, he started actually training for the fight. Didn't nobody know about it, but he was actually training for the fight 2 years ago. You see how built he is, and he lost weight. He trained, and he out there shadow boxing on the side of the street in New York. They throwing it on social media, just amping it up. Jay Paul is gonna pay the man really well. He needs the money, and he get the fame. He don't care. I think me and dude about the same age, and he don't care, man. But I'm gonna tell you what is real. I'm gonna tell you what is real over there in Cleveland County, Oklahoma City. Them Thunder rolling. And I'm gonna say one more thing before I get off. And y'all might say, Cecil don't know jack. That's where LeBron James gonna end up at. I've been saying it for about the last year, couple of months. That's the only team where LeBron can fit in and win a championship. Oklahoma City has 11 first-round picks in the next 4 years, all rookies, and they're in first place. They got home court advantage. I already got a bet on that they swept New Orleans. I get paid, I think, today after the game's over with. But, yeah. Oklahoma City Thunder. Hey, everybody in America who's listening, LeBron, LBJ will be in Oklahoma City. That's where he's going to finish his career. Because you can put LeBron James in right now with Oklahoma City, and that's a for sure championship. And then they just got Bronny on the side just to fill the seats up. But Bronny can really play basketball. I don't know why they so against Bronny James. He can't play. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. He's a good athlete.
Cecil, appreciate your phone call. It's good to hear from you. That would be something like seeing LeBron James. I thought he finished his career in L.A. What if he finished it in one of the smaller markets in the league?
Or even Cleveland's kind of where I thought. But he's right on about Oklahoma City. If you're an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, congratulations. Y'all going to be good for a decade. That's a good organization down there.
Are you trying to tell me I need to watch that game tonight?
Well, Oklahoma City, they're going through. You don't have to watch them. You can wait. I know you're busy. Wait.
I'm just talking about being entertained. It's like I got to wait for another game. I have other games I'm gonna have to call. I don't have one tonight.
Oh,
Might
there
as
you
well
go.
watch.
Yeah, check you out some
Might
basketball.
as well put it on.
There
Or
you
either
go.
that or Return of the Jedi with my daughter. Whatever she wants to watch, because it won't be the NBA playoffs. Good to be with you guys on a Monday. Thank you for tuning in. For Matt Jones, for the C Unit, I'm Phil, and that's halftime. Get up, get out, and get better.